Guys, well, welcome to the Nightmare Narrative Podcast. I know that was kind of a weird start there. Been gone for a while, so now just kind of getting my feet wet, getting back into doing these live streams with you guys. But tonight, I do have a very special guest with me. Say hi, Jeff.
Hi.
And Jeff is the director of Virginia Paranormal Investigations. And man, we just had a really fun experience this past weekend, didn't we?
We did. Yeah, that was a pretty cool overnighter.
Yeah, first overnighter in a long time. Usually we'll leave at like 2 o'clock in the morning or something, but I mean, by the time we got back to Walmart, the sun was coming up.
Yeah. See, now we were originally going to camp up there. We were going to set up some tents, but hunters get up early in the morning from what I'm told. And the place we were at, it was a hunt club where there were some hunters up there, and we figured we'd be woken up about the time we went to bed if we spent the night.
Yeah, that's true. As everyone starts kind of piling in, we'll talk about our investigation that we had this past weekend, and also the one hot chip challenge that we did. We'll kind of play the video that Jeff posted showing Will and Jeff eating the chips. And but first, kind of want to talk about some of the things that I've been up to this past week. I went on a vacation where I drove from Virginia up to the abandoned turnpike in Pennsylvania. I know, Jeff, you saw some of the pictures of that place, but what was really cool is basically it's this 15-mile road out in the woods in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. It was built in the 30s over top of an old coal mine, and basically the reason why it's abandoned is back in the 60s, the 4-lane highway cut down to a 2-lane highway, and so because of that, people just kind of bypassed that turnpike, and after that they just shut it down, and they built a brand new turnpike road next to it, and so ever since the 60s it's been abandoned. And so now the forest is kind of taking it over again. People are going into the tunnel and graffitiing it, and so I decided to go up there and just kind of explore a really cool abandoned place. Getting there, once you arrive, it's a 20-minute walk from your car over to the bridge. And outside of it is like this abandoned office. You also have the tunnel itself that goes about a mile long. When you're inside, it's completely dark. Every step that you take echoes across this huge tunnel. So that video will be coming up later on this week. After that, though, went out to Salem, Massachusetts. Up in Salem, perfect time of year. I know, Jeff, you've been to Salem before, but Salem, especially this time of year around Halloween, is the best time to go. Everything is decorated. Everyone's out, with witches and everything, considering the Salem witch trials. So do have a video coming for you guys later on tonight involving that. One of the fans from Virginia Paranormal, I got to meet up with her and her family, Danielle. We went to a cemetery where we actually caught possibly the spirit of a voice. So we asked the witch who was buried there from 1692, hey, are you a witch? And we got a pretty interesting response that I let Jeff listen to earlier, and it's be kind of cool to see what you guys think about it. And then lastly, after that, went to the Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut, also known as the Ed and Lorraine Warren Occult Museum. So that's where Annabelle is, everything that has to do with the Conjuring series. Unfortunately, though, you can't go in. I know, Jeff, you've always wanted to visit that museum and see all those cool artifacts, but they got it closed down right now. I guess they're kind of going through a change of ownership and everything, so you can't really go in. But did get a couple of cool pictures and videos. I'll definitely be posting that up on YouTube later on as well. And then after that, the Amityville Horror House. Went to that up in New York. Got to visit that for a second. I think it's owned by some kind of company. They do tours or something like that, or investigations. They had a giant dragon outside of the house. So that'll be another video that'll be coming up soon. But Jeff, so you have gone to a couple of abandoned places in Pennsylvania that I'm kind of jealous about. So kind of talk about your experience that you had when you went up to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we went up there on a camping trip, Linda and I did, over the summer, and we camped at a few different places, but one neat area that we went to was a place called Concrete City, And this was an old coal mining town. It was a community that was built for the coal miners to live in. And I guess these were more so like I don't know if they're what the word is for it, not the upper class coalmen, but the ones that, had a higher position. And it was a really nice area when it was created. It's these duplex houses that are made out of concrete, and there's pictures I found of the inside of them. I kind of put a looking back at the end of the little video I put together, and they were really nice, but I guess they had a problem with moisture and then with the sewer system, so they were abandoned not long after. They tried to dynamite the buildings, but the dynamite went off and it didn't do anything to the buildings, so they just left them there.
What?
So
How did they mess that up?
They were built so well. I guess the concrete. I forget the exact amount, but they used like a ridiculous amount of dynamite on one of these buildings, and it didn't do anything. So there's all these buildings, these duplex concrete houses, sitting out there in the middle of the woods. You walk up this little trail and into the woods, and you look down over the hill, and you can see them all down there. And they're positioned kind of in a rectangle. Houses going down the side and the tops and the bottoms, and there was a pool in the middle and all kinds of things. They had their playground for the kids and stuff, but now they're just covered with graffiti inside and out. Some of them are in worse shape than others, but most of them are still standing. And what was weird, we went into one of them, and I see some smoke, and I go around the corner, and someone had lit a fire in the middle of one of the rooms of these concrete buildings and just left it burn. Put a bunch of sticks there and some logs and just left the fire burn. So we put out the fire, but just people out there, just getting into trouble. We heard someone shooting a gun in one of them. Wow. And yeah, but they had basements. The basements were like dirt basements, pretty creepy. Went all the way upstairs. They're, like I said, they're built pretty solid, but there's some areas of them that tread lightly, maybe.
So it's interesting because that is one of the places that you can go to in Pennsylvania where you're not necessarily going to be kicked out for trespassing. At least that's to my knowledge.
Right. Yeah, no, you can go back there. It's open to the public. There's no signs. There's all kinds of people walking around back there. So it's like a known place that people go to check out, kind of a little tourist attraction. I guess it's not well known, but it's, like people find out about it and all of these tourists are back there.
Yeah, I've seen all the pictures of it, and I saw some of the stuff that you guys posted from it. That was pretty neat. It's definitely a place I want to check out. It's on a bucket list.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's a pretty cool, it's neat, especially to look at then and now. And we also, when we were up there, we went to Centralia.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot left of Centralia. There's, some, you can see the old sidewalks, but there's no real houses that we saw standing. I mean, there's houses that people are living in, but it's like 3 of them in the whole town. People are still living there. But you see all these old overgrown roads, and it's crazy because I found old videos of this place, and it was an actual, like, city, like a fairly good sized city, or a borough, as they might call it in Pennsylvania, depending on, I don't know what the difference is really, but it was fairly busy. They had a main street with all these stores and everything, and it's not just like a little small town. I mean, this was a big place,
and you couldn't be able to tell by looking at it today. Now, what was really interesting is they do have that long road that would be coming down, and it's cracked, and you can see the steam coming up, or I guess the smoke that's burning from the coal underneath. But now they got rid of the road, and they covered up with dirt. That was one of the coolest parts.
Yep, they brought truckloads of dirt and covered over. It was called Graffiti Highway. Mm-hmm. And people would come from all over. We even ran into a guy who was with his wife, I guess, on a motorcycle, and he had come. He was like, "Where's Graffiti Highway?" I'm like, "We haven't found it yet." And then we found it, and saw it was all covered over with dirt.
Yeah, but what was so neat about that road was it was cracked and it was shifted like there was a huge earthquake. So it was a really neat place to go to since you didn't have the buildings anymore. You at least had some sort of destination to go to in Centralia, but now that's all gone. And from my understanding, they have sidewalks, and you have some sidewalks with stairs that lead to no house, basically.
Right. Right. Yeah, and that place also it inspired Silent Hill.
Yeah, yeah, Silent Hill, one of the more popular survival horror video games. The fact that you can't see as far in front of you, and just like the evil lurks outside of the fog. Um, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a neat place. Now, when you were there, did you get any strange vibes? Because people, when they talk about paranormal activity, they associate some of the elements to it. So the fact that there is coal burning under the ground, do you think that maybe that could create some sort of paranormal atmosphere there?
I'm sure it could. We didn't really do any investigating. We just kind of went and explored. It was, kind of sad because you see a place like that was well populated and people called it home. It still has the graveyards there, of these people that lived their lives there from all the 1800s all the way up. And, now there's nothing there. But there was a pretty cool legend with it. And if I remember it right, it had to do with the Molly Maguires that were causing some trouble back in the coal mining days. And I forget what exactly happened, but there was a preacher who put a curse on them. He put a curse on the town, and he said, and this was like in the headlines, we saw this at the Anthracite Museum. He said that this town will basically burn to the ground, and the only thing standing will be this very church. And sure enough, long after the town had caught fire and was almost gone, that church stood well into the 90s. It was never destroyed by the actual burning mines. It was destroyed. The fire company came in after their last service and actually tore down the church or burned down the church. But it's pretty neat because his curse kind of came true. And there is the only, aside from, like I said, the two or three houses that people are living in, there is a big Catholic church that stands up on the mountain, and that's the only building that's still there that is in operation other than the houses.
Yeah, I think that is the only place that's no trespassing, right? But you can't necessarily just go up to that church.
Yeah, no, it said unless you're a member or invited by one of the members, pretty much, you can't go there.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys that are watching or listening on podcast form, Centralia, Pennsylvania, along with the abandoned turnpike in Pennsylvania, two destinations that you definitely want to go to, as well as Concrete City. There's a bunch of other places too. Kind of pulled up a little good website called PA Bucket List. It shows you some of the abandoned places that you can go to where you won't get kicked out necessarily. There's no trespassing signs. And you can be able to explore all these abandoned places, a lot of World War II bunkers, a lot of old abandoned mining towns, and a couple of shacks like up on hiking trails. A lot of them have to do with hiking trails now. But definitely a lot of cool places to go check out in Pennsylvania. Now, I did want to talk about the investigation that we did this weekend. So kind of fill, people in that weren't there, but kind of a little bit about the Hunt Club, what kind of place it is, and some of the things that happened over the course of the night.
Yeah, the Hunt Club, it's one of those places where you come down this long road and kind of in the middle of nowhere, and you turn down the driveway to the Hunt Club, and this looming farmhouse just gets hit with your headlights, and it's creepy because this is an old pre-Civil War farmhouse. It looks like nothing has been touched on it since the Civil War. There's not even electricity in the place. They do have some generators that they'll use for, to get some lights going, cook some stuff and such. But it's a really creepy place. No people for miles around because they use the land and the acreage around it for hunting. So the hunters will go up there and stay for the weekends and such. But there was an accident that was there, that happened there back around 2003, and there's a lady that's been seen, a lady in white. We always love the stories about the lady in white when there's something like that involved.
Victorian style ghost, lady in white wearing that dress.
Right. It's like the typical scary story, and a lot of Civil War action up in that area. So they've had some experiences there. People that spent the night there, especially alone, they would hear footsteps on the stairs. They would see figures peeking around the corners. They'd hear the Civil War music playing, like the fifes and drums. There's a chair that they had in one of the rooms, and the little kid was staying there, and he would wake up in the middle of the night and just be screaming at something that was in that chair, but they wouldn't see anything. So the old man went and slept in there, and he said that all night he kept getting waken up by someone like making a clawing sound on the armchair. And one time the lady had some towels she put on the chair, and all the towels got knocked off the chair. So it's got a haunted chair too to top it off.
Yeah, haunted house, haunted chairs, haunted rooms. Man, they even have haunted woods there. You know, they got the fighting drums going up and down the street, and supposedly there's a Confederate camp nearby somewhere. Just haven't found it yet.
Right. Yeah, we were joined by Alex Waters, the Hot 100. He was with us, and we had a good time with him. He wanted to sit on an investigation, get a little bit for his show, and he and I, when we were out there, we were kind of provoking the Confederate soldiers a little bit to see if we get any responses.
Yeah, don't want to spoil the video, but I think a lot of woke people will be really upset about that video when you post it.
Perhaps. I don't think that part was actually recorded.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, no, it just got to the point to where, you know, you try different things to be able to communicate with spirits, and that was just kind of an idea that we had. But it'd be interesting. I still haven't listened to the voice recordings from the investigation yet, so we'll see if we got anything when we did that. But aside from that, though, I mean, we had the investigation in the room, and I left the voice recorder up there. So this is the room where the accident took place, and now the spirit of that person is still there. And so I left the voice recorder in the room by itself. We're all outside. And then Alex Waters of Hot 105 goes up, and he sits in the room, does the full-on investigation by himself, and as he's asking the questions, I forget what it is that he asks, but all of a sudden it sounded like a cat, like kind of like purred or meowed near him, and there's no cats, there's no animals, and you couldn't really hear other people, so it was just, you know, an interesting, to say the least, voice recording that we got from that. We'll send that over to Jeff as he compiles his video. I assume that'll probably be something that'll be a couple weeks out before we get that investigation. But the gas scrubbing ghosts, I assume, will be coming up sometime soon. Yeah,
and lately the investigations have been kind of putting them as just gas scrubbing ghosts. Mm-hmm. I'd like to, though, if Linda finds anything significant in some of these evidence review, maybe do a video of the evidence reviews and kind of put that up to show people what's going on.
Just separately, have gas scrubbing ghosts as the whole weekend, and then if you find evidence, have that as its own separate kind of case files or like a review kind of video.
Right. And I'd like to do more of the case files. I just haven't had time lately to go through the editing process for them. But also, I usually put those as cases where we have somebody that does an interview with us, so you have the person's interview. But we do have our first investigation set up as a case file from the Hunt Club last year. It was like last August, a year ago, 2020.
Yeah.
And you see the interviews with the people that had these experiences.
So what I'll do at the end of the stream, I'll go ahead and link the last Hunt Club video that we did to this one. That way you guys can check it out, kind of catch up and see what it is that we're talking about. But keep on the lookout for the newest one that we did this past Friday, Saturday. But also while we were there, towards the end of the night, we decided to put in the...
there was something scary. Something really scary. Right? Is that what you're about to talk about?
Impending doom.
The impending doom. Yeah, this was creepy. I mean, this was in the haunted room, right? Where I gotta tell you, at this point in time, activity started picking up as the night went on.
It did, actually.
It did. Yeah, we there was footsteps outside of the door. I'm pretty sure we caught them on the camera. The EMF or the REM pod was going off. Will's REM pod was going off. And when the guys would leave, it picked up. So there was a moment in the night when the room just became full of intense heat. And in the midst of this intense heat, Will got this feeling of sudden doom. Like he, for the first time I think ever in an investigation, I saw this guy scared. Like he didn't look like he thought he wasn't going to make it out of there alive.
No,
and I had never seen him like this on an investigation. He attempted to do this 10-minute EVP session, and it went south to the point where he ran out of that room like I'd never seen before. Will, what scared you?
You know, it was...
That was a good lead-in, right?
That was really good. So what that whole thing was this transition to this. I'm getting ready to play the video for you guys to show you exactly what happened in that room during that 3-minute EVP session. So as I go ahead and play the video, guys, after we do the video, we'll go ahead and take any of your questions that you may have down in the chat. But let me, you know what, it's just better, let me not even talk, it's just better to show you what happened, right?
This is some solid evidence right here that something was going on in that room.
Yeah, so let me just pull that up for you. I'm sorry. Let me get to that real quick. Here we go. We'll pull it up here. Last year, we did the PACI One Chip Challenge for 2020.
Oh,
this is the new edition, 2020. So we can't see you, Jeff, but we can still hear you. Whenever you're ready, I'll go ahead and pause the video. But guys, I'm warning you, this video might be too strong or too, for anyone that's sensitive to extreme images. This is probably not for you.
Yeah, that's a good disclaimer.
How hot this is going to be. I assume it's going to be as hot as last year. So let's kind of unveil this.
All right. So Will is going to take this haunted chip, right? The Reaper chip, in a haunted room.
Yeah.
So this is taking the one chip challenge to a whole nother level, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a VAPI and a PACI first.
Yeah, this is an original right here. You're seeing it here for the first time.
So Jeff, before I continue on with the video, so what happened the last time that we did this?
Are you talking about a year ago?
Yeah, what happened a year ago?
All right, so a year ago we looked. All right, this was ridiculous. We looked all over the state for this chip. I mean, on several chips, clear across to West Virginia and back. We stopped in every Pilot, 7-Eleven, and Sheetz along the way. I didn't find this. And then somehow, I guess Will beat up somebody outside of a tattoo shop or something like that and took the chip from them. And he came up to an investigation. He's like, look, I took this from some kid outside of a tattoo shop. And we're like, oh, man, we got to split it, right? So we split the chip between me, Will, and Emily. So it was 4 ways. 4 ways the chip was split. And I got to be honest, when we tried that chip the first time, I was a little nervous because of how they built this thing up. I was like, this is going to be, like one of those challenges like I've never tried before. And I like hot stuff. But I ate that piece of chip, and really it was like I thought. Like, okay, they're advertising for it to be all this extreme thing, but it wasn't that bad. Mind you, this was just a little piece of the chip. And if you have a bite of this chip, if you have a piece of this chip, you are getting a fraction of the effect that you get from this whole entire chip, right? But nonetheless, the Wills, I think they, how did you like that little piece? Like you seemed like it. Well, yeah, it seemed like it made you want some chocolate milk or something like that.
So here's the first one. Here's the 2020 PACI Hot Chip Challenge. So we took the chip, we split it up into 3 ways. I had a piece, Jeff had a piece, and Will had a piece. And I ate it, and I think I lasted like 5 minutes or something like that. 5, maybe 10 minutes before I drank some milk. And then you ate it, and you forgot to drink your drink. Like, you took it like a champ. It wasn't until we got into the car and we're like almost home. We're on the Pocahontas Trail, I think. And you're like, oh yeah, I haven't had my drink yet. And then you finally took the drink. It was like over an hour at this point. You're just showing off. But I will tell you, like when I ate it, my mouth got really hot and everything else. It tasted terrible. But you know what? It was doable. You know what I'm saying? It was doable.
Yeah.
But here is the 2021 edition. And let me show you what happened to me when I ate the full chip and not just a third of the chip.
Here we go.
And we've read the rules before, but we
Yep.
can kind of look over them, what to expect.
Yep.
Yeah.
What to expect? It's made with Carolina Reaper pepper and scorpion pepper. This straight from hell chip was created for the sheer pleasure of intense heat and pain. Has a spicy punch, scorpion sting, vision disruptor, gut slash, and then roasted.
All right, so look at the thing there, Will. How long are we going for? Pull that other paper out there.
This one?
Yeah, and we'll see how long you want to go for here.
Okay. What's this?
Okay,
What's
so
going on?
this is a little trophy that Will gets here. It says, I destroyed the Packy One Chip Challenge.
Wow.
I don't know
Okay.
about
so-
destroyed.
5 minutes of powerless.
Well, I mean, either way, the chip was destroyed at the end. One way or another, it was destroyed.
Something was destroyed.
10 minutes is powerful. 30 is
30 minutes.
supercharged and 1 hour is invincible. So what do you
I
think
see
about
that.
going for here?
Powerless.
Power.
I said powerless. I was realistic in this. I knew I wasn't going to last more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Come on, let's shoot for the powerful. Let's just shoot for the 10 minutes.
Shoot for the
So I had
10.
you down for 10.
What's up?
I had you down for 10.
You had me down for 10.
My money was on 10 minutes.
I appreciate the confidence.
Let's do a 10-minute EVP session.
I still think
where
you could
only
do
I
it.
Talk.
Oh, yeah.
After
This
I
is
eat the chip.
perfect. All right. So 10-minute EVP
Yeah.
session after Will takes this
Yeah.
chip.
Okay.
All right. So
Very good.
let's go ahead.
Is your GoPro still?
Yeah, it is.
It's really not that bad.
I like how Will says it's really not that bad, but he threw up in less than a minute after eating it.
Yeah, it's really not that bad.
Yeah, he chimes in right before I get ready to eat it. So by this point in the video, when this actually happened, when I was going to eat it, Will already ate it. For Will's experience, he ate it in probably like less than a minute. Less than 30 seconds. He took a sip of water and then immediately started blowing chunks outside of the Wawa. I don't blame him because you'll see what happens next to me. But Jeff, we'll watch your video after this one.
That's not chocolate milk after I took it.
Yeah, all I got is water.
Yeah, but remember, no water for 10 minutes now.
Yeah, so I gotta get some now
Right.
before
right.
I drink it or
That's
before
right.
I eat it.
Here we go. This is how champions prep for the one chip challenge here. Got to get that tongue coated with a nice layer of water.
That's right.
Slides down.
Yeah. See, amateurs, they don't coat their tongue before you do this. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm
Right.
a pro. I've done this before. Don't do this at home. So, while we're here, if there's anyone in this house right now, please come into this room. You don't want to miss this. I'm getting ready to eat the world's hottest chip. So, come on in and let's have some fun. If I can get this open. Man. Oh, I can smell it already.
Yeah, that smell. I imagine if I try to eat this chip again now, the smell when you first open it up would be like smelling alcohol after you already got hungover. It's like smelling it again. It makes you immediately want to vomit. Like the smell of this chip is terrible.
Look, I'll tell you, there's 3 things that are probably the worst things I ever did. And one was this chip, right? The other one was getting OC sprayed. And the other was that candy cane.
Oh my god.
Out of those 3, the only thing I'd do again is the candy cane.
Yeah.
Unless there was some money involved, then I might consider the other 2
Well, we'll
at the same time.
Don't hold me to that. I might. We'll figure out how much money you're talking. We'll make it happen.
Oh my gosh. Now,
Alright.
remember last time, like, you can't even, like, pee after you
Right.
eat this.
Right.
You don't want to touch anything that is sensitive.
That's right.
It's already fallen apart.
I don't want to explain what I mean by you don't want to touch anything sensitive after you touch this chip.
Yeah.
Leave that to the imagination.
You look at the whole thing now. The whole
Yeah.
thing.
Definitely.
Nah, dump it all in your hands and then you put it all in your mouth.
I'm trying to make sure only one hand touches it.
it. Probably safe.
All right.
That's a giant chip.
Let me turn this off and turn this back on. This is a first. We're gonna do an EVP session with the chip, but only I will be allowed to talk for the next 10 minutes.
Did y'all not hear that?
Only I will be able to talk for the next 10 minutes, and then after that I can take a sip of water.
All right.
So for 10 minutes, here we go.
Will's going for the powerful.
Getting down. We're on the second floor, and I'm about to eat the world's hottest chip. Well, here goes nothing. Do you mind filming me real quick?
And so my first thought as I'm getting ready to eat it, I'm like, I need to just down it and not eat it in like little bite-sized pieces.
It's rolling.
That's exactly what I thought, and it did not help at all.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Whoa.
And it hits you right away.
I don't feel good about it. It's like eating a bunch of powder.
How does it taste?
All of my saliva's gone. I can't taste nothing.
You taste the powder, it hits you. It's like the cinnamon challenge. Jeff, have you ever done the cinnamon challenge?
I have not,
Well, basically...
but I hear bad things about it.
Yeah, okay, so that's something you got to do. Okay, so out of those three things that we were talking about earlier, when I was like, what is it that you would do? You named three things. Two of them you won't do. But would you do the cinnamon challenge?
No.
No?
Nope.
Well, basically, when you do the cinnamon challenge, you take the cinnamon, like just raw cinnamon, put it in your mouth, and it immediately soaks up all of your saliva. You can't breathe. Your throat closes up, and all you do is like puff out a powder of smoke. That's it.
There's no way.
There's no way you would do that. But you would eat the world's hottest chip twice.
Yeah, I would do the world's hottest chip again before that.
Oh man. Okay. All right. I was just curious.
I haven't swallowed it yet. It's so hot. When I just swallowed that piece, it was like lava falling down my throat. It's closing up. I might be having an allergic reaction. All right, if there's any spirits in this house,
It's best to swallow and get it over with.
a minute in.
You're not throwing up like I was.
It was only a minute in, and it's just like you want to die, and you're like, when is this pain gonna end? And it just keeps getting worse and worse somehow. Is that how you felt when you ate it?
It gets worse for about the first 30 minutes. And then after the 30-minute mark, it starts to at least level out a little bit.
Yeah.
You hear that?
It's just you crying.
Still hearing paranormal activity, even with that burn.
Yeah, even though I'm dying, I'm still trying to be professional. At this point, I'm doing the EVP session to where only I can speak and communicate with the spirits. And as I eat that chip, all of a sudden we start hearing paranormal noises again. Maybe it was them laughing at joining in with the rest of the crowd, laughing at me. We'll have to go back and listen to the voice recorder and see what we got.
I'm interested to see what's picked up on that.
Yeah, every time I take a breath, it gets hotter. I need a spit bucket. Yeah.
Really
No, it's
crying.
best to just keep swallowing because you're still alive or
Oh, that's gross.
My name is Will. I want to know,
I'm crying at this point.
what is your name?
God, it's
I believe someone commented and said right there is where the evidence of the soul leaving the body.
Yes. I think when paranormal investigators 50 years from now come back, they'll hear my my residual haunting of the room.
I just ate the world's hottest chip and I regret it.
Well, you're never gonna get this lived down.
We have an RC car here. Outside. You can push it. RC car will move. You can play with it. I got a blue light. You go up to the blue light and touch it. My throat is closing up. Whew.
Yeah, at this point I couldn't breathe. Like as I was talking, I could feel my throat closing and closing, and I couldn't get out words anymore.
Just turned off or something?
Come on, you got it. You got it. Come on, you only got 7 more minutes here.
I give up right then. I couldn't do it, man.
He couldn't do it.
That shit doesn't do anything.
Not much.
You know, water won't help. You need like
But I
fucking.
put up like that, yeah. I was on the side of sheets like throwing up everywhere. You stood there and laughed at me.
I gotta go outside.
At this point, as it's already traveled down your throat, hit your heart, and going into your stomach, you immediately feel it hit your stomach, and your body hates you. It's trying to like punch you. It's like pushing back. It's like your body and the chip are fighting in your stomach, and it's just saying, "I need to get out right now." And so, like in my stomach, I felt like I had to throw up, and I didn't want to do it on camera up here in the room. So I'm like, I need to go outside.
And that punch to the gut, it comes in strong later on too. Like about 30 minutes into it, you feel it's like someone just grabbing your stomach and like twisting it.
For those of you just joining us on the stream, I can only play the video separately from Jeff's video. So you can hear Jeff, but you just can't see him, but he's up here with me. I don't know why, but I turned and looked because I wasn't expecting you to follow me with the camera. And then at this point,
we don't want to miss the best part.
yeah. At this point, I'm trying to find the most inconspicuous place to just blow chunks.
He's throwing up. He's at the throwing up stage.
My lips are swollen.
That shit's painful, right? It hurts. At least you're not throwing up. I'm telling you, that shit gets 10 times worse when you start throwing up. It's like you're throwing up fire, man. That shit hurts so bad.
Wait till you poop.
And then Jeff says, "Wait till you poop." I'll skip ahead a little bit to get to the ending of it. But it gets to a point where like I get chills. Like I'm outside and I get cold because my body is just fighting it any way it can. So it's giving me all the symptoms of like I'm sick, just to be able to fight it.
Nah, Jeff and Leonard just stood there laughing at me. I was literally, what we got, loves or sheets?
Sheets.
I was literally on the sides of deep sheets, like dry hubing onto the building. I wonder if anyone had to clean that up.
So, the candy cane last year.
So at this point, I've already thrown up. We didn't get that on camera, I don't think. I had already thrown up, and at this point, I'm sitting in the chair, and I'm like, I need to use the bathroom so bad. And we're getting ready to wrap up, but we had to do like a final debrief.
Here.
Yeah.
We did the hottest candy cane. World's hottest candy cane. Brought to you by Screaming Santos. And this time was the one chip. How would you compare the two?
Okay, let me start with last year's one chip. Last year's one chip, we split one chip into 3 ways. It was like, wait a minute,
I
chips?
know, you're talking about sandwiches and stuff.
I'm trying not to touch my face. So that was pretty bad last year. That was bad. And then your candy canes. We did the candy cane and like just keep it in your mouth and like sucking on it and like not being able to escape the heat. That was bad. And then this year, eating the entire chip, immediately like losing all of your saliva and it just being replaced by just like an oven. And then when you finally swallow it, and as it goes down, it's like scraping the side of your throat and burning as it goes. And it, your heart starts to burn, and then your stomach, like right now my stomach is burning. And I feel impending doom. Like, we need to find a Wawa fast. So out of the three, I would say that the candy canes are the hottest.
I can see that. You're keeping it in your mouth.
This, though, is not fun. The candy cane is still
this one chip challenge was not
enjoyably
fun at all.
hot.
Yeah.
This, I don't like it. I don't like this at all. I don't like feeling this way. I don't like my lips swelling up, my throat closing to where you can barely breathe, and like wanting to throw up, but you don't because it'll feel like you're breathing fire. I don't know why you're laughing. This is a serious medical emergency that I'm having right now.
Don't call the ambulance. Just go to Wawa. Find
But
the ambulance.
yeah, I don't want to do 2022. I don't even know if I'll make it to 2022. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. Because I didn't.
On the back.
So, like at the end there, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it to 2022. Like I thought I was gonna die at any point. But Jeff, you took it like a freaking champ. Let me get to where you ate the chip. And just for the people watching, who else was with you?
This was my nephew, Brett.
Your nephew?
Yeah, we were camping. So this was during a camping trip.
So did you just buy like a bunch of package chips? Where did you get them?
I happened to into a Royal Farms on the way up to Delaware, and about 1 a.m, and there was a packed shelf of them. World's hottest chip right there. I couldn't believe it. And the lady's like, "We literally just got those in." So I picked up a bunch of them. On the way back, I stopped at another Royal Farms, and the shelf was empty. So like they go quick. These things go quick when they get on the shelves.
Well, and then after we did our one chip challenge, all of a sudden that Wawa had hundreds of them.
Yeah, Wawa and Gloucester had a bunch of them.
Now, yeah, I got to see how you took it.
Here, it says, "Do not eat if you are sensitive to spicy foods, allergic to peppers, nightshades, or capsaicin, or are pregnant or have any medical condition."
There we go.
2, 1.
Okay, so I do want to stop there. Jeff, you immediately ate the whole chip. You had the same thought process as I did. I noticed that he only took a bite. Because it's like taking medicine, like you got to chug it all at once. If you
just get it down,
just get it done. So that was a that was a pro move on your part.
Thank you.
You can't just take one bite out of it.
You'll be singing Ring of Fire tomorrow. You go to the toilet. Once it hits your stomach.
No, that's not going to feel good.
Something I noticed that you do, Jeff, and I feel like it helps with like the burn and everything, is that you'll project how you're feeling onto another person. So that way you can deflect everything that's happening to you and everyone can focus on that person that's suffering.
and that's why we're getting ads for therapists on this video.
As a therapist, Wawa, so that way we can do the challenge. But see, you knew what to expect. Had he ever done it before?
No.
Yeah, see, you knew what to expect as far as flavor goes, and as far as like what would happen right away.
Right.
Yeah, he was immediately like, "No, I hate this."
But see, I gotta say, like, just having a little piece of chip, I wasn't expecting it to be as bad as it was.
Right.
I thought it was gonna be like that little piece, only just more. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was actually gonna be a whole lot hotter.
I guess you haven't been watching any of his videos.
It's a little worse with just one chip. Like the whole chip is worse than the little piece that I had before.
Ooh.
I didn't think it was this hot last time.
Brett, how do you feel?
It tastes horrible. Once you swallow it, it's worse. Did you swallow it?
Yeah. Don't throw it up, it'll burn your esophagus.
Are you done? Do you need water?
He is suffering.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew when it didn't go away after 15 minutes, I knew it was a mistake.
When it didn't go away after 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Have we gone?
Sour cream.
Like 15
Yeah, we need
minutes and
some
it had
milk.
not leveled out at all.
Yeah, you need milk.
We need some bread.
Hey, I saw that.
Stages again.
They got.
Look how red his face is.
Why you kiss? He's dead. He died. How you doing, Jack?
Not too good. It's pretty spicy.
You're sweating.
Yeah.
Brett looks like he's in pain.
Are you shaking?
Huh?
Are you shaking?
No.
Brett's spitting over there.
Do you guys have sour cream or something as a backup?
No.
They didn't think this around.
So you guys didn't have any milk either?
No, we went the hour. We made it the hour.
Gosh. Oh,
If I can get you some? No.
Yeah, and then afterwards, no, I didn't have any milk. No. Nope.
That's crazy.
But by the time the hour was passed, it was, there wasn't the need for milk at that point.
right. Yeah, it was just whatever is going to happen happens. At that point, it's probably just your stomach.
Right.
Everything lasted 5 minutes.
Yeah, at that
It's
point,
2
my immune
minutes.
system took over and kind of started to restore myself back to normal.
Right.
In 23 seconds.
And every once in a while, I find something that's like stuck in my teeth.
Yeah.
And I get it out, and the heat reemerges.
Oh, dang. Brett's speechless. Is he breathing still?
Fred, is it that bad? Talk to us. Give us your opinion. Is it?
Yeah.
Look like you got pepper spray.
See, another thing is laughing made it worse, too. Like, when I would laugh, your breath would come out and kind of fan the flames a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, every time you breathe, every time you talk, it just makes it worse. The flame.
Yeah.
It is quite possibly the hottest thing I've ever had.
He's just trying not to throw up right now.
I told you to wait till after.
Scared.
That would have been worse than you would have thrown all that up.
If Jeff says it was hot.
Yeah. Agreed.
I like how he says, if Jeff says it was hot, it's hot.
I told you, like those ghost pepper ones, they're hot. They're pretty hot.
The time Scott put it on his spaghetti and then he was on the floor crying.
That was
What was
the
that?
viper, venomous viper.
There's blood coming out of your mouth.
No.
I think this is you guys coming back up the trail.
The more you breathe, the worse it seems to fan the flame.
Yeah, we went to wash our hands,
Right.
sometime into it. We're like, we better go wash our hands. Like, okay, we'll both go. That way we make sure nobody takes a drink of
That's
water
smart.
or anything.
How you guys feeling?
Jeff did all
The
right.
scorpion sting is a real thing. Like at this point, the way I would describe it is yellow jackets. On the outside of my tongue, on the middle towards the back, and on the roof of my mouth towards the back, like a bunch of yellow jackets stinging.
How do you feel, Brett?
The candy cane? Yeah. I'm glad I can say I did it. Yeah. The thing about the chip too is there's no flavor to it. It tastes like paper with like Reaper powder on it. And a Reaper pepper, it's so hot, it doesn't have the flavor of the habanero. Like the habanero pepper has a good, like a bold flavor to it. You can eat those. Carolina Reaper, not so much. At this point, I'm going the hour.
On the way up,
Thunder's coming.
I asked him if he's bailing or not, and he's
I don't know how you did it. Like, what what mental gymnastics do you have to do to where you can go an hour after eating that chip?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think I destroyed a lot of
Not
my
as
taste
bad-
buds with all the hot peppers and everything.
As it was at the start. Like at the first, I don't know if I said it, but I was trying to keep my mouth shut and let the saliva kind of cleanse my pores and my tongue. But that just made it worse. It was like liquid fire coming out of my tongue and swallowing it. And every once in a while I'll find some like back in my teeth.
What
I'll
color
get
is
it
your
out.
tongue?
Huh?
Yeah, stick your
What's
tongue
your
in.
Strong color.
It's got some kind of coating on it that wasn't there before. And I'm not sure if it's like a rash.
It's like 3rd-degree burn on your tongue.
It could be. This was bad. This is something I'm not gonna do again.
Something that I'm not gonna do again. It's definitely like you got like 3rd-degree burn basically on your tongue, like a chemical burn. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, you get a nice callus on there, you know?
Now, so you won't do that again. Are we going to do the candy canes again this year?
Yeah, definitely. Now, I'll do the chip again next year if they come out with the 22 edition.
Okay.
I'd be willing to give that a go.
All right.
Yeah, but there's no sense on doing the 21 again. You know what I mean?
Now, would you eat the whole chip again, or would you split it up into thirds or halves?
I'd do the whole chip again. Like I said, if it was another year, because watching people try it now, like and after a while you start to forget. You know what I mean? And by next year, I think I'll be like, yeah, I'll have forgotten about the punishment. You know what I mean? And I'll be ready to give it a go again. But not in the near future.
No, God, no. No, not at all. Now, I mean...
Now, the candy cane, yeah, the candy cane definitely, though. And I'm going to make them look a little nicer this year. I actually because the twisting and pulling wasn't working really. I couldn't get that right. But I got some molds this time, some candy cane molds. So we'll have some nice looking candy canes this time.
I'll try to do better this year. I think I only lasted like 5 minutes or something like that. Yeah, but
I think that was the challenge. It was like 5 minutes.
Was it only 5 minutes?
Yeah, I think so. Linda told the Old House Wood story what we tried to do it.
Yeah, because we were like, all right, Linda, just talk while like we suffer in the background.
Yeah. There's another one called the Devil's Toe or something like that too that we should try.
What's that?
It's a sort of a lollipop, and it's supposed to be really hot. So it's another kind of challenge. Like you try to keep it in your mouth for so many minutes.
I don't know. I'll do it. I'll do it if you're doing it, and as long as we're filming it.
Yeah, anything for a good time, right?
Yeah. Now, speaking of good time, this week and next week, we're gearing up for our Yorktown Ghost Walks. We got a lot of open slots available. So anyone, wanting to come out, maybe see a ghost in Yorktown, definitely follow the link in the description below and sign up for the tour. Jeff, when are we doing those tours?
We're doing them every night, just about. Double on the weekend. Friday and Saturdays, we got 2 per night, 7:30 and 9:30. And I'll tell you, people have been getting some interesting stuff lately. There have been some interesting pictures. It's not only the anniversary of the battle, but it's also Halloween, right? The time when the veil is allegedly thin. So you put those two together, and you have a good mixture for paranormal activity, I think.
I think so. And last night we had a pretty cool experience coming up to Cornwallis Cave even. Someone had a clear audio where basically they heard the sounds from the past as they walked up to the cave, and they felt really uncomfortable. I mean, I've never had an experience at the cave, but to actually witness someone have an experience there was pretty profound, and definitely like a story I'm going to add to the tour.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that cave, it's something. I remember being there one time, and the medium was there, and she said, take some pictures, and we did. And we didn't see anything with the naked eye, but looking at the pictures, she said there's something going into the cave and up towards the top. We looked at the pictures, and sure enough, there's this weird mist going into the cave. right when she told us to take the pictures.
So what do you think that mist could have been?
I have no idea. She thought it was she thought there was something significant about the land above the cave, and she thought that's what was drawing it for some reason. But all I know is I didn't see anything. But we all took pictures, and sure enough, you got that mist in the picture.
Now, there have been a couple other pictures where, people have seen stuff up in the windows, seeing that man with the white beard up at the Nelson House. Now, the Nelson House lately has had a lot of activity around it. I've had a lot of tours around the Nelson House where people have seen or heard something lately. So this is the time of year to go. So I'll go ahead and I'll leave that link down in the description. You can sign up. You'll be able to get a tour with either Jeff or myself. Most nights, you said 7:30 and 9:30, different tours?
On Friday and Saturday, yep, 7:30, 9:30. And then the rest of the week, it's at 8 o'clock.
Okay, cool. And that's Yorktown Ghost Walks. But Jeff, do you have anything else you want to plug for the rest of the week?
No, not that I can think of.
Cool. Now, after this video, I'm going to go ahead and post the EVP session that I did up at the Salem Cemetery, where I got the voice of what sounded like possibly one of the witches from the Salem witch trials giving us a response. And then also be coming up with a video for the abandoned turnpike out in Pennsylvania. And then look out for Jeff's videos for VAPI or Virginia Paranormal on YouTube. Gas Grubbing Ghost video coming up, perhaps. One with our newest investigation that we just did, as well as you can watch past videos. You can watch the one chip challenge in its full entirety, as well as the past investigation that we did at the Hunt Club in August of last year.